Hey guys, so we're back with the final video of the Bleach cover. So this time we'll be talking about the general and leader of the Squad Zero, Hyosei Ichibe. Now, this person, this entity, this Shimigami, he is not only the de facto leader of Squad Zero, but he is probably the most oldest thing besides the original Soul King. Now he has is a complexity almost as a overseer or a oracle or someone that balance things. He also have a duty to the noble five families that were the original heads of the old world. Now that's a video I will plan to do in the future, talking about the noble families and what connection some of them have with the Quincy's. Now the club outside interview had been such help because we get to hear firsthand from Tite Kubo about how he came up with the idea of the noble families and their connection to the modern three worlds that we see now. So from the moment we saw Squad Zero and we saw Ichibe himself, we knew that Sunsui basically have this not animosity but this untrust look of Ichibe. Now he quoted and said that, oh, we were summoned from above by the Soul King to fix the damage that the first invasion was caused. We came to find out that each Squad Zero member had created something that benefited the Soul Society. We also understand that each member contributed into the development of the Soul Society at large, with Uetsu becoming the first person which allowed the flourishment of Zanpakutos and the creation of Sahauchi, which Urahara actually copied to create like a form of Gigai. Also forgot to mention that Hikifune was also credited for creating the Mod Souls, which is literally Khan's mother, which when you think about all of the Mod Souls and the Bound Arc are basically now connected because Hikifune was the originator of the creation of the Mod Souls. Come to also find out that the connection between the Blood Oath Seal as well as the Squad Zero members, the only person that's not in the tapestry of the Squad Zero Blood Oath Seal is Ichibe Yosobe. Now, I'm not sure if this has to do with his lineage of old age and his experience, but we know that the Oken and all of the abilities that makes them look so youthful, and basically no one can get to the royal palace without the entry of the the soul divine soldiers. Squad Zero is only allowed people to get in unless they bring you up with them or they order it from above. Now the Soul King is almost like a generator for Squad Zero. Basically the Oken was formed from their bones. Now we're not sure if this is like a ceremony of some sort, but we know that that's very important for that to happen. Another thing Tite Kubo mentioned was that the Oken, which was the thing that Aizen was trying to create, was actually the bones of the soul Squad Zero, and that Ichibe, being the de facto leader, if Aizen would have succeeded, how would this fight came down to be? Because Ichibe has so many different secrets and so many different abilities that puts him in a higher position than the other four. For one, his Shikai and his connection to the past, which is why he is considered a war potential. Now, there's a theory I've been thinking about that from Core 3, from the lessons that we have learned, was that when Ichibe met with Yhwach, a younger version of Yhwach, we saw that the members of the original Schutzstaffel was present. Now, from what we have learned, they all has passed away. Now, I'm thinking before the first invasion 1,000 years ago, I think Ichibei took hints of taking down the original Schutzstaffel, which would explain why when Shinjumaru or Uetsu Maya mentioned that I need you to do it this time, indicating that they have fought in some sort of caliber position before. Now, we also saw Ichibei in action as well by being able to manipulate the brush that he possessed, which could create barriers, shields, and different abilities that are so abnormally weird but so powerful. He's also able to literally hide a complete different plane of existence into thin air. He's able to connect himself into higher consciousness, which allow him to create ligaments of parts of human parts of his body, almost like a divine Buddha. Now, what makes Ichibei even more dangerous compared to the other Squad Zero members when fighting him, you can't really say his name unless he gives you the grant access. Also, the scariest thing about him is that he's probably the first Zanpakuto that is water type, but is also an ink, which when he released his Bankai, first it started off as a brush. When you think of Ichibei, he looks more like an artist, but he's probably one of the artists that you would never want to meet in the alley due to the fact that once released Ichimonji, he's able to have two version parts of Ichimonji. The first part allows him to keep spitting out ink, thus creating a larger volume of ink. The more he splashes the ink, the more he removes abilities from you. And remember, Ichibei is credited for basically naming everything in the Soul Society. So technically, he's like the second person in hand besides the Soul King, which everything that Ichibei touch or give a name to, he has power over it. When released Ichimonji, like I said, Ichimonji is a water type Zanpakuto, which originally is the first Zanpakuto ever created, or it was brand after it. I think Uetsu was inspired, like they mentioned, by Ichimonji. Thus, Ichimonji was created from the properties of what a Shikai and a Bankai would be. From Ichimonji, first thing, till Shidafude, which is the second ability, which grants Ichibei to cut names and then rebrand the name, thus erasing what was the name before and giving it a new property. Some of the most devastating abilities which we didn't get to see was when Ichibei was fighting with Yuha, and that Ichibei was preparing to unleash something even more devastating. Come to find out that the Tensa, how they say it, the Tensa Fude, which is the giant castle mausoleum, it looks like a shrine, and everything turned to like this is soot, like soot, dust, and almost he created a new plane of existence. The only person that was able to counter that was Ichibei's adversary, which adversary Yuhabak. Yuhabak was able to stop Ichimonji's second or third ability from activating. We saw that basically Ichibei got exploded, he got defeated, and thus, people thought that he completely died. Compared to the Squad Zero members, his colleagues, the scary thing about Ichibei is that it seems as if even in death, he has control of all the darkness in the world, or he has the properties of life and death, almost like yin yang. He also possesses all of the different abilities such as fire, water, earth, and all of the Bankai abilities that what makes a Bankai. So my thing is that not only Ichibei is super powerful and knowledgeable, but that's probably the reason why he is considered a war potential due to his wisdom from what Yuhabak mentioned. Because when you have two Shinigamis that are older than the rest, one created everything when it comes to the abilities that one used, and then one who has named everything in the Soul Society or in the Bleach universe, as we call it. That is a dangerous duo. Remember, one of the thing that I heard in the past was that they were able to stop a Shinigami Hollow, which is Okudami Nyoi, which was a prime hollow that they actually sealed away together. And I believe that Ichibei was actually a teacher to Yamamoto. Like I said, another property is that it seems as if Ichibei has the power of immortality. So I can't wait to see what he's gonna do in Core 4 and what we expect. So I'll see you guys for the next video, which will talk about the Quincy history.